You're welcome to yet another Fireside Conversation here with Going Before the Africa. We are excited to be doing this. Like I always say, I'm really grateful to the guests that we keep bringing. I'm really excited that they could spare their time to be a part of this. I'm excited that you also could find time out of your busy schedule to be here to show up for your own evolution. And today, a simple conversation we have for every one of you today. And we have two amazing speakers who are going to be engaging us with their stories. And I know for a certainty that you are going to take something from this conversation that is going to, turn your life around, right? This is the Virtual Campus Store 6.0, and it is curating your university experience. That's the theme for this edition. We are excited that we have Esther Odemwingie with us. We also have Esi Seyi Adeleye with us today, and they are going to be sharing their story with us. And why are we doing this? Very simple. We want to ensure that university students are able to take advantage of their time on campus. They're able to take advantage of their time on campus to prepare for life after school. To prepare for life after school. And the reason why we're particular about that is because a lot of the time we rely on the structure, on this institution to prepare us. Meanwhile, these guys are not really that committed to your evolution. You have to take upon yourself your own personal development, to invest in it, to become that which you have been designed to be. And we have two amazing people here today who are going to be sharing with us. I'm not going to even read a bio. I'm going to just quickly run through the bios that we have. For Esther Odemwingie, popularly called the Smilepreneur, is the convener of the biggest personal development conference in South Nigeria, tagged the Big Game Conference. She had 6,200 individuals participated in the first edition online. That was in April, and the second edition in Benin had over 1,000 paid participants, right? Esther is a project manager, and she's passionate about volunteering, networking, personal development, and digital literacy. With a following of 27,000 followers on Facebook, Esther has been able to leverage social media to make impact, to dominate her spheres of influence, and to scale her income. Such an amazing and powerful bio, and it is something that you need. It tells you that you need to stay here to really hear and take in her experience so that you also can begin to position properly. Now, our second guest is Esi Seyi Adeleye. He's an identity designer and motion designer and media specialist. Esi is a seasoned visual designer and media specialist with over 6 years of experience as a professional creative. He's born in Edo State, Nigeria. He's a digital native who started his career in design by volunteering with NGOs as early as high school, nurturing his passion for design, right? During his college years, Esi served as the lead designer and media personnel for several NGOs and student organizations, including HOK Model Management, ISEC Benin, the Christian Community on Campus, Mr. Uniben. Amazing, guys. Esi has collaborated on significant projects with Edo State government agencies, including Edo State Investment Promotion Office, Victor Uwaifo Creative Hub, Moving Surface Nigeria, John Odige Public Service Academy, amongst a few, on projects ranging from supporting SMEs to promoting state investment and celebrating state heritage. Guys, you need to listen to these bios. So rich. So you have to stay to the end of this conversation to dig in, to make sure you pick the value in this conversation. We're going to jump right into it, and I can't wait to hear their stories. Yes. So we're going to hear from our guests. We're going to hear from Esther first. Esther is going to share her story with us. And please, guys, make sure you are paying attention. Make sure you are paying attention. Leave us your comments. Make sure you have your questions ready, because we are going to be asking for these questions, and then you are going to have answers from our guests. I'm really excited, Esther. Esther, are you ready for us? Yes, yes, yes. So over to you, Esther. Quickly, how
All
have you
right,
been
thank you.
to curate your experiences, right? Such a way that it positions you for opportunities, even right after school and right after your NYC.
All right, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Andrew, for this opportunity to come and speak to your community, to everybody listening to me here this evening. Thank you so much. I do not take it for granted. All right, guys. Good evening, everybody. Trust me, are good. Yeah. I have limited them, so I'll try my best to maximize it. Okay. So, real quick, we're looking at a wonderful topic this evening: how you can create your experiences. Uh, yeah, thank you. How you can create your university experiences that positions you for opportunities, not just local opportunities, global opportunities equally. So when I saw this topic, when Sandro said, "Esther, come and talk on this," at the point I laughed because Esther, that you are seeing here today, by the grace of God, I was not really the type that utilized my university days. Yes. I graduated from University of Benin. I studied integrated science education. Okay. So, but then, like I said, I did not really utilize my university days. That's why if you are here right now, you are still in your 100 level, you're in your 200 level, you're in your 300 level. Congratulations. Now you are getting to know more about these things at an early stage, right? You'll be listening to so many amazing speakers before me, and you will still listen to so many after me. So congratulations for hearing these things. Congratulations. In fact, thank Sandra so much for bringing such persons to come and talk to you. Okay. And back then, University of Benin, I was not open to such information. So the kind of life I lived in school was not a bad one. Of course, I'm a good girl. Okay. But then it was just a triangular lifestyle from, I was in Otsu then in Uniben, from Otsu to lecture theatre, faculty of education, down to my campus fellowship, Christ Apostolic Church Youth Fellowship, down to the hostel. That's where I just lived my life from year to year to year to year, back to year. Because my own was me, I'm in school to study. So outside books, outside study, every other thing, zero. Okay. Every other thing, zero. Do you understand? And that's how so many university students, that's the same mindset they have. Leaving home, they told us, you are going to school, anything outside your book, see, it's just you and your book, just be there. So we went with that ideology, we went with that mindset. So anything outside that was a no for me personally. Do you understand? So I just boxed myself around the four walls of schooling. And funny enough, somebody did not still graduate with first class. Do you get the gist? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that my own life, my own university life experience was not really I don't know how to put it though. But then I caught it when I was in my final year, 400 level first semester. That was when my eyes began to open, and I knew that, man, Esther, there's so much more beyond the four walls of school, like so much more. And that's what I'm telling you this evening. If you're a university student listening to me, or maybe you've graduated already, you just passed out, and you are now in the real life, in the real world. Okay, so there's so much more, like, oh my god, so much more. And I wish somebody actually told me this. I wish I actually was open to such information, but it's never too late. Yes, and that is why you see me today. Some persons, when they see me now, they will think I started from 100 level, 200 level in school, not knowing that it was just my 400 level first semester. Right now, that would now lead us to the experiences I gathered from there. That would be 2019 year down to this 2023, 19, 20, 23, approximately 4 years. And God has helped us done a lot. So much so that those that were even exposed from the 100 level while I was still in school till now, by God's grace, I've done, it's not pride or something, but to an extent, I've I would not say I've done more than them, but you would now see that we are even on the same scale. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that it's never too late. So let's stop blaming ourselves that, oh more, suppose I knew all these things in 100 level, I would have become a better person. It's never too late. So right from that 100 level, 400 level first semester, when my eyes began to open that there's so much more, but unfortunately I'm about graduating. So I started thinking how I can maximize the little time remaining. Do you understand? And it occurred to me. So one of my experiences I gathered in school, I created from school, there's actually helping my life right now, or the fact that I was hungry for knowledge. And obviously I would not find this knowledge in my room. Do you understand? I would not find this knowledge on the street. I would not find this knowledge where now. But then I observed, yeah, that some of these things you can only find them in meetings, in conferences, in seminars. Do you understand? And I could remember the very first I attended the school then was um this HYPB by Carissa area. That was the very, very first where he brought, okay, no, it was not that one that he brought Ubon Kings, where he brought amazing persons, and that conference was a game changer for me. Was a game changer for me. So one of the things I would just advise you as a university student listening to me right now, or you're about passing out and all of that, like I said, the first point you need to notice that it's never too late. So this message now is for those that just passed that or that are in their final years already. Mhm. It's never too late. I'm talking from experience. It's never too late. But then, if you are still in 100 level, 200, and you still have time, one of the things you need to understand is that you will need to attend meetings. Do you get? You need to attend meetings. That's one of the things that would open you up to stuff. So, like I was saying, some of these things you would not find it in your chemistry textbook. The knowledge from these meetings, you would not find them in your biology textbook. You would only get to hear them from such meetings. So one of the things that is actually positioning me right now for the opportunities I've gotten so far and the ones yet to come is the fact that I'm exposed to knowledge. And the funny thing or the truth is that it gives you an edge. I have a couple of friends that graduated together from the university. Right now, they will see me and they're like, ah, oh, Esther, you don't go far. You're not going big girl. Or even send you message on WhatsApp, the reply, that kind of thing. Right? It gives you an edge. It gives you a perception. It gives you an edge. And trust me, opportunities are given to people that have an edge. You understand? Everybody definitely can't access some set of opportunities except their experiences. And how do you think most persons they need fresh graduates and hear them say we need these persons with 7 years experience? Where on earth do you think such persons should get such experiences? They expected them that while in the university, outside their books, outside academic books, outside the four walls of schooling and all of that, they should have been attending meetings and volunteering. And that very first meeting I attended, I did not just attend as a participant. That was the very first meeting I also volunteered. So another experience in school that will position you for opportunities is when you are open to volunteering. Yes, obviously volunteering are not paid in cash. Do you understand? They would not pay you. It's sometimes you would even use your money. Do you understand? You would even use your money in some cases. So you are giving your time, you are giving your effort, you are giving your energy, you are giving your cash and all of those things. But trust me, they are all coming together to form an experience that would be useful for you after graduation, after school. Like I was telling you, supposing I knew about all of these things. I was studying education, of course. It was not a course that really demanded so much from me, person like medicine, law, engineering, and all of that. I even have currently I have mentees, I have friends that are studying these professional courses, as people call them, and yet they still understand the importance of attending meetings and volunteering. Do you understand? Because if you say, okay, let me wait after school, I would have this experience. So after school, you're looking forward to get 7 years experience. And before you know, you are aside the fact that you are getting old, you are at some point you become relevant in some places. Do you understand? So one thing you must begin to understand that as a university student, outside your school book, which is good, that's the first reason why you went to school. So please study. It's very good. Graduate with a first class. It's very, very good. But you must begin to understand that life is beyond mathematics. The real world is beyond physics, is beyond chemistry. We need real life experiences. And one of the areas you would get them is that volunteering for meetings. And obviously you cannot just volunteer with bare ends, you cannot volunteer with empty ends. So you must have something you are bringing to the table. And that's what will lead me to these other points. So I became relevant even after graduation when I knew what I was doing because I had things to offer while volunteering. Do you understand? So these people, they will value you more when you have something to give. And one of the ways, obviously, you've read this multiple times, is just have a skill, have something you are bringing to the table, have a skill. So you learn designing and you're volunteering for an organization, telling them, oh, everything concerning your design, I'm doing it. You are gathering experiences, you are building your portfolios, you are positioning yourself for opportunities. So 2 years later, after those volunteering experiences, for example, an opportunity comes and they say we are looking for someone with 2 years experience and all that, and then you have something to present. That has given you an edge over others. Do you understand? So these things are very, very important. It's what will give you an edge. Trust me, I'm a living example of that. And just like I said, these things did not really come from my university days, but I made sure that even after graduating, when I went for NYC, that's 1 year I maximized it to the core, like crazy. Trust me, you can go online and just search for Esther Odemwingie, NYC diary, and all of those things. You see the amazing things God helped us to do. You understand? Because you must begin to understand that in this life we are right now, you must be a solution giver. That's another thing that attracts opportunities to you. You must be a problem solver. So in anything you are doing right now as a university student, you should begin to look for. See, that's what will make you relevant in this century. That's what will make you be sorted after. That's what will differentiate you from every other person studying the same course as you. Do you get? So currently now you hear people saying, I've graduated, though, no job, or even those with first class. So sometimes it's not just about what you graduated with in this real life, right? It's about the experiences you've curated over time. And like I stated initially, all of these experiences, you will not bring them from heaven. Do you understand? It will be as a result of the organizations you volunteered for. Another thing I want to say is you must not just be looking at for organizations alone. It can be individual projects. Do you understand? It can be individual, it can be as little as individual project. Currently, I work with, I think, 2 organizations, and others they are individuals. I know what I'm doing. A lot of them I'm volunteering, I'm interning with them, but I'm gathering experiences. So much so that maybe when I leave the city, I'm in Benin City, but when I leave the city, I find myself somewhere where opportunities are enormous. I'll be sorted after. I'll not just be a liability, trying to beg them because I graduated with so great. Do you understand? So it does not just have to be organizations. You are just there waiting for one company. You're just there waiting for one NGO. You are there waiting for one big organization. It can be as little as that your friend, right? As that your friend having one project or the other. So you giving your skills. Say, my guy, I know you are doing this project, you are doing a secondary school outreach project and all of those stuff. I don't have money to support, but I have a skill. So what you are doing for that person, you are putting your all in as much they are not paying you. Because one other thing most persons do is because they are not paying them, they tend to do the thing anyhow. You will not curate good experiences like that. And such rubbish kind of jobs will not give you the opportunities you need. Do you understand? So in as much you are stressing on volunteering, interning, doing all of these things without pay, know that the end goal for yourself is that you know what you are doing. You have something. Andrew, if my time is up, just signify me, right? So just so that you have something at hand, you know what you are doing, you are building your portfolio, you are building your CV with this thing, so much so that this set of persons, this set of organizations, they can recommend you without fear. Some organizations you've worked with, they can't even recommend you because you did shabby things for them because they were not paying you. Do you understand? So you must be a minute, please. Do you get the gist? So currently I work with some be a problem solver, attract opportunities to you. That's the truth. It attract either you are currently a student or you've graduated, you're waiting for NYC, or you've done all the things you are doing, even if you're a 9 to 5 9 to 5. Do you understand? These are things that position you for opportunities. A lot of us, opportunities pass us every day, right? Not because we are bad luck or something, it's just because you don't have the necessary requirements, necessary experiences. Another thing I would love to touch briefly is the fact that you should document your processes. A lot of us right now as university students that have been doing what ought to be done, you have a lot of these experiences, but you're not documenting them. For example, my NYC diary. After my NYC in 1 year, I did a lot by God's grace, and I'm like, how what should I do right now with this my experiences that I've curated, with these my experiences that I've gathered over time, that has become solutions to people. When I share my innocent experiences, people are blessed. They run with such message, and in their own 1 year of service, they make good use of it to via the information I gave them. And I gathered those my experiences into an ebook. I wrote it in one night. It's my experience, not a story. I wrote it in one night, and I did pre-order. In less than 7 days, I sold over 100 copies. You understand? So me, I'm into the digital space, I'm into marketing, I'm into sales money. So I would equally add this. So there are some experiences you've created right now that you can monetize. Let me quickly I will talk about the money parts too. Do you understand? We've talked about you volunteering, attending meetings, networking, doing all the necessary things you need to do. But in case you are in this category of persons that have created so many experiences as a university student or even as a graduate, there are people out there that are struggling, that they don't know how to even begin. I have a mentee right now, right? She's currently serving in Benin City, Edo State, and she graduated in first class. While in school, then she struggled, but then she still came out top in the class. So at a point, she has this experience, and she reached out to me. I taught them some stuff, and I told them, you have so many experiences that should be monetized. You have experiences that should fetch you money right now. She was like, I don't have any, I don't have it. I said, you have, go and think. And she thought about it of how she graduated with first class despite the struggle in school and all the many stuff. And she was like, she can teach undergraduate how to do this, how to become a student despite their background, despite the struggles they have in school and all of that. She wrote it into an ebook, and do you know what? She sold out. Amazing. She sold out. So people are looking for these your experiences to become better. Now, the truth is this: if you're not sharing your experiences, number one, you cannot share what you've not curated. Do you understand? So if you've passed the creation stage and you now know what you are doing, another thing you can do is monetize it. I'm not saying you should start monetizing everything. So the kind of experience you can monetize is the one that you know will be a bridge between someone's problem and their destination. I'm just rounding up right now. The experience you can curate is the one that would be a bridge. Please, this is very important because as a university student, you still need to make money. Do you get all of these things? Will position you for they will position you as an what is it called now? You would have a perception. They will position you as an expert in whatsoever you are doing. You understand? So any experience you've created right now that will be a bridge between someone's problem and their destination, feel free to monetize them. Sandra is live right now. So, in summary, like I said, though I was not the type that maximized my own university days, I got the information as at 400 level first semester, but then I knew time has passed me already. So I have to put all I need to do to ensure I become a better version of myself. So please and please, beyond the 4 walls of schooling, attend meetings, connect with people, volunteer with organizations and individuals, and make sure you document these experiences. Thank you so much. I think you are muted, sir.
Powerful. Thank you very much, Esther, for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing with us, for sharing all the details with us. Um, we're going to have questions. So we have our audience, they're going to be asking their questions. I also have a question that I would like to ask. But before we get into that, we'd like to hear for the next 15 minutes, we'd like to hear from Esi Seyi Adeleye, to share his experience on campus and how that has prepared him for life afterwards. Esi Seyi, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Please just confirm you guys can hear me clearly, just to be
Yes, I can
sure.
hear you clearly.
All right, thank you very much. I would have really loved if this was an interactive session, right? But I think would maximize the time we have. So, I will start by asking a very simple question, and that is, how would you define success? Um, First of all, I would like to appreciate the conveners of this meeting. Right, it's a very rare privilege to be speaking with great minds that we have in the audience. Right, so I really appreciate the opportunity, and I would want to enjoin every one of us here, right? Opportunities like this need to be heavily leveraged on to help you fast track your growth process. Yeah, so I was asking a question just now. How do you define success? So I'll just paint two scenarios. One scenario we have, let's say a lady, her name is Jane, right? She's from a rich background, very wealthy background. She goes through school, comes out with like really good grades, and when when she's done with school, her parents leave her billions of dollars. Okay, let's work with naira since we're in Nigeria. But huge sums of money, right? Enough for her to just carry on with life, and she just goes on with life. Going on tours. She doesn't do much work. She's just happy and all that. That's one scenario. And then a second scenario, right? Another lady, let's say her name is Queen. She graduates with a 2-2, right? And when she gets out of school, she starts a business. And then doing the business, she builds some management skills, starts like two local companies. And then um, maybe after a period of 10 years, she's able to like grow it up to multinational standards, right? And yeah, so these are two scenarios. And based on these two scenarios, how can we how do we define who is more successful? And there's a reason why I'm coming from this perspective, right? So um I wouldn't answer that question. I mean, I will leave it for us to answer on our own. So I'm now talking about my own perception while I was in school. I studied civil engineering first off, so that's it's a 5 year course. So I was supposed to spend 5 years in school. From my 100 level to final year, um, 100 level was a very, 100 level most times where people are just free and happy and, just got into school. People who are trying to make first class are on their track for first class. Those who are making friends and catching fun are doing all that. I was somewhere in between, right? But more on the side of catching fun. And then when I was done 100 level, my grades they were not bad. They were nice. And when I told my sister, she just laughed and she said, "Sha- First continue first. Let's see how it will be 300, 400." And then by the time I got to 200 level, I realized that, man, the whole my grades went down. It went really down. And with time from 200 up to final year, it was a gradual process to build it back up again and become to build back up again, right? And um, why I'm bringing that perspective to us now is that in how we define success, I would want us to just be clear that success is not a it's not a time-based thing. It's not a final position, right? It is gradual. And Winston Churchill says that success is not final and failure is not fatal, but what counts is the courage to continue. So in your journey, what is important is not necessarily the state you are at the moment, but how you are able to improve and leverage and quickly fast track. So it is a long-term thing, right? So while I was in school, I didn't really uh, should I say I didn't really leverage on all the opportunities I could have leveraged on to help me become the kind of person I would want to become, right? I'm kind of an introvert, so I'm always the locked up type, I don't like going out. Uh, I pretty have a triangle also, from my home to my class, right? To church, those three places. I mean, if someone was looking for me, I'll be one of those three places, right? But I will only be in class when I have classes. I will only be in church when I have a program in church. So mostly at home, and at the end of the day, that worked out to my own disadvantage because many things I feel like I would have been able to do now, right? I wasn't able to achieve some of those things. So, um, yeah. So now, while we're in school, people like tell you a lot to like focus on your books, leave out all the extracurricular activities, all that is distraction, right? And when you get out of school, you can start building and learning all that stuff. But then in my 200 level, there was something that someone told me, and she said, university is it has a connection with the word universe, right? And it's that it is an entire ecosystem. So even though the system tells you you are here for educational purposes, right? You should also know that this is a universe on its own. It's an ecosystem where you can pull from different stems and learn and build up yourself and become, yes, and evolve, essentially, and evolve, right? You are not just here to focus on academics. And if you look at it closely, right? Um, for example, something like when people um travel to settle, right, in different locations around the state, you would figure out that most times it's even in university structures that have huge numbers of people traveling from across different states, even countries, gathering all together in one place. And while you are there, you can actually pick on several perspectives from different people, from different cultural backgrounds, different systems, different thought processes and structures that you probably will not have been opportune to engage with, right? Just being in your local environment. So if you fail to leverage that period while you're in school, when you get out of school, I mean, you will have lost an opportunity. You can still pick up, but then that opportunity that comes while in the university is one that should never be downplayed, right? And so um the previous speaker was talking about volunteering, right? And unfortunately for me, I didn't do much of volunteering while I was in school. Like I said, I'm quite introverted and all, right? But then volunteering is one of the easiest ways to climb up, right? And don't look at it as free work, even though it is free work, right? There are people who say, okay, if I volunteer for these people, they're not going to pay me anything, so I'm just going to be working for nothing. Don't look at it that way. But what you should understand is that while in that um, organization, you are building capacity, right? While working with those people, you are building capacity. Mark me when I say this: university is one place where you can make mistakes, right? And nobody flogs you for it. It's one place where you can fall, where you can keep making mistakes, and where you can fail several times, and then you wouldn't immediately face there won't be an adverse effect to you at the moment. I mean, if you were in a company or organization institution out there, there are some kind of mistakes you make and immediately you're out of the system. There are some kind of mistakes you make, and um, your relationship with the people in that setting is totally destroyed, right? So university is one place where you can actually grow gradually, right? You can make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, and then nobody's going to hold it against you. So um yes, so while going through this process, it is very important that you curate, right, and document this processes. You document your activities, if possible, day-to-day activities. One very good importance of that, right, is that you'll be able to track your growth process. You'll be able to track how much progress you are making. When you are not making progress, you can tell that you are not making progress. I mean, by the time you create day one, two, three, and you have a 30-day creation, for example, in a month, into the second month, third month, when you look back to your documentation from the first month and you realize some things you did back then, right? How you spent your time and all that. 3 months later, you see how you're spending your time now. You may be able to tell that, okay, I'm actually improving, right? Or still I'm staying at a neutral state, all right? Or I'm going down. So that kind of analysis can help you to can help you to track your improvement process and your growth process, actually. And that now brings me to the kind of relationships you have while in school. So in school, okay, I want you to understand that relationships are very important. They are very important. There's a common statement saying that show me your net worth, show me your network, and I'll tell you net worth. I think that was said by Jim Rohn, right? Tell me your network, and I will tell you your net worth. So, what you should understand that the people you have around you, they would shape your mentality. They will shape your perspective. They will shape how you see things and act and do things. You understand? So you need to be very intentional about the people you surround yourself with. Um, is I know while you're in class, it's easy to just like be friends with everybody, and then um, you're able to gist organically with people and laugh together and all that. But then be very defining and definite about who you allow to be in your own personal space, even in that kind of structure, right? People you're allowed to know your challenges, to know your success stories, to know what bothers you, to know what happens at your home, right? And all those kind of things, because those people are the ones that will be able to uphold you and support you, right? So if you have relationships with the wrong kind of people, it is very easy for them to drag you down. Um, there were times when in school I will have certain goals, right, or things I have in mind to do, and while I'm on that track trying to achieve those things, some people come and tell me things like, um, "You're wasting your time, right? You should be focusing on reading your book 24/7. Uh, you know, you don't even have time to sit and be gisting in class after class. Some people stay in class for 3 hours, 4 hours, just gisting and laughing. They're not doing anything, you know. And people it will make such statements. And if you have such people in your close space, it's only a matter of time. You will let go of those your goals and aspirations, and you will just neutralize and operate at their own level. So please, you need to be very intentional about your network. Potter Gill also made a statement in that light. He says that your most important asset is not your financial capital, right? It is your social capital, and it's your ability to build a network of authentic personal and professional relationships, right? So your those relationships need to be authentic, very authentic. So okay, I think I still have a little bit more time. Let me just talk a bit on one thing that helps you stand out, right? While you're out there, when you get out of school, after trying to build up your skills, and all that. Um, but when you, after holding your skills, building and all that, uh, it is about your own personal brand, right? Your style. What actually sets you out is how you position yourself. There's a common statement. I can't remember who said this, but he says, "It's not what you say, but it's how you say it." One thing you can draw from that statement is that how you position yourself, how you present yourself, how you're able to stand out is what how you're able to stand out is what will help people recognize you. I mean, for example, if I cracked I'm trying to think of a very very funny joke. If I cracked a kind of joke now, I'm sure many of us will not laugh. But if it was someone like Basket Mouth that cracked that joke, man, the whole place would be storming with laughter. And there's a simple explanation to that. These the two people made the same statements, right? But how they said it and the kind of person they are and what people know about them actually shaped how the audience was able to accept what they were saying. So your own personal style and personal brand has a lot, right? It would it will have a lot of impact, right, in how people will perceive you, in how people will accept you, and in how you would grow on the long run. So I will just end by saying that okay, this is one thing that I've personally tried to work with, and okay, no, before I say that, talking about your personal style. For someone like me that's an introvert, I actually struggle um with talking to people and sharing with people and having them understand where I'm coming from, know my background and experiences and all that, right? I mean, there was a conference I went for recently. During the conference was a networking session, and so everybody was to go around and discuss. And so while everyone, I mean, and network. So while people were going around networking, I just went to the back and I was looking around and looking at people's faces, you know. And then a girl walked up to me and she was like, um, "Have you spoken to anyone yet?" I said, "No, I haven't." And then she grabbed my hand and then she took me around and started talking to people, right? For me personally, it's quite a challenge, and it's uneasy for me to break out from that box I put myself in, where it's difficult for me to share and build relationships, and then also have my own personal style that I'm able to share with people. But there's something I learned from someone. His name is Chris Du, and he says that one way you can build your style, and then actually, if as an introvert like me, and help people actually do the engagement and reaching out to you, is by how you dress, right? So, for example, you can put on an outfit that has a very bold statement. Maybe there's just a writing on the shirt, and someone else who actually connects with that kind of statement and sees what you have printed, maybe he's also a fellow an extrovert on his own, can approach you and engage you on what you have up there, right? And that can strike conversations. So that in itself also is about how you position yourself out there and how you brand yourself. So your style of dressing, your outfit, how you look, right, how you appear, right, all that can actually strike conversations with people. And why people engage with you for those kind of scenarios, trust me, you are building a brand for yourself and a style for yourself, so that when people want to refer to you, it's very easy for them to it's very easy for them to refer to you. um so yes, let me just end here. I think my time is up already. I would have said more, or do I still have more time? Okay, so I think okay, it seems like we have a bit more time. So I'll just end by saying this, right? I think one thing that you should focus on is that you should focus on leaving your environment in a better state than how you met it, right? All through your time going through school and even after school, one of your focus should be on leaving that space in a better way, in a better state than how you met it. And that in itself speaks about giving out value and sharing out value. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing. Guys, it's so rich, so rich, so rich. You're looking to share this with your friends, please just copy the link to the video. I see that Daniel is asking. You copy the link to the video and share with your friends. Share with your friends. So I've learned so much. I've heard so much. Many of what has been shared are some of the things that we emphasize. I'd go a bit further Africa. The first speaker said something about documenting your growth processes. She spoke about volunteering. She spoke about putting yourself out there and being a person of value. The idea is when people see that you're a person of value, they want to have you in their space. That is the idea. They want to have you in their space. And a lot of the time, you see that young people, they are burning with passion. They are enthusiastic about the work, but then they get carried away. You get carried away. So it's very important that you take advantage of those opportunities to serve, to ensure that whatever you are doing, you are committed to it, so that people can begin to form their perception about you. Now, it's that perception that they form about you that's going to inform whether or not, when they come in contact with opportunities, whether or not they are going to engage with you, right? That is the mindset. I'm really excited that Esther could lend her voice to that conversation. And she also spoke about personal branding. He also spoke about personal branding, very important, guys. He also spoke about relationships. Many of us are used to having cliques on campus, right? We're used to having cliques on campus. So you have the kind of people that you move along with, you have the kind of friends you hang around with, and then you graduate from the university, and the relationship you thought you had, you no longer have that relationship, because the relationship was probably built on values that were not in any way contributing to your own personal growth. And now you now need the help of people. You cannot find anyone to help you because you did not take time as a university to build quality relationships, right? And so you've heard it from Seyi Adeleye. You've heard it from him. He has shared it out here today. We are looking to see that you take these things that you've learned, and you begin to apply it, right? And okay, so we're going to go quick straight into the question. If you have your questions, I know you have your questions, so put your questions in the comment. Do not go anywhere. Put your questions in the comment, and then we're going to be asking our guests. But before you put your questions, while I wait for your questions, I'm going to ask our guests a couple of questions. So if you're with us, Esther, and Seyi. Oh, great. Esther, are you with us? Okay, so Shay, very important question. I talk a lot about networking. I talk a lot about networking because I personally have seen, how I'm able to identify opportunities within networks. I'm able to reach out to people, with sense, so reach out to people and request for help, request for opportunities, sometimes give them updates on the kind of opportunities I'm looking for. So I've read your CV and I've seen the amazing things that you've done. So my question is, how, knowing that you're an introverted person, how were you able to navigate? How were you able to, with the caliber of projects that you've been on, how were you able to get in the room, right?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Um, yes, I think the response to that is kind of why we're having here today, and it is about starting very early, right? So for me, um, it was not a smooth process for me. I struggled along the way, but with time, I was able to find a way to maneuver. And one way I was able to do that was that I was able to share my value, right? The things I could do, the things I knew how to do, because being introverted, being in my own space, I actually spent time building on myself a lot in terms of my of skills, right? Uh, I'm a designer, right? I do visual designs and all that. So at that early stage, I would spend time learning my softwares, right? Watching videos on YouTube and all that, and building skills, and I could just design something and post it out there. I think then was it WhatsApp status then? Well, at least there was actually at least Instagram, right? Post it on Instagram. You know, some of my friends I'm chatting with, I could just share it with them, and gradually, when they have something that they would need me to do, they could share it to me, and I would just work on it. And so gradually, I was able to build on that. It wasn't until I think my last years in school, I think 400 level, that I started opening up to connecting um, volunteering and connecting with organizations, organizations out there. At early stages
Awesome.
while I was in school, I did some volunteering, but it wasn't so much. It was just here and there. You understand? So I would say, while in your own space, right? Don't spend time. Don't waste the time, right? When you have your time to yourself, right? Spend that time honing your skills and building your skills, such that when you get out there, people cannot help but demand for the value you have built within. All right.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, great. Awesome. Awesome. So, Esther, um, really powerful. I think what I can take from what you've said, Shay, is that be a person of value. And it's just natural that people would want you in their space. If you're someone who contributes value, people would just want to do work with you. They want to have you in their circle. Right. So over to you, Esther. I think the reason why I'm really excited about this session is because the both of you apparently did not really maximize your time on campus, but somehow you're able to find your way. And for you, Esther, I want to know, at what point did you realize that, come on, at what point did you realize that, come on, I've not really used my university life to really, do so much? At what point did that change happen? Because I saw the photo you posted, the photo of you in the university, and the photo of you, after your NYC. And there's no way I can't compare the change that has happened and even the capacity, because I used to know you on campus. Yeah, I used to know you on campus. And then so tell us, at what point did that change happen?
All right, thank you so much. That's true. Anytime I see my before and after, I'm like, God, I thank you. It just calls for Thanksgiving. Okay, I would say, like I shared initially, it was when I was about leaving school. When I saw young persons like me, this is the major thing. When I saw young persons like me doing crazy stuff, doing amazing stuff, at that point, I looked at my life and I was like, Esther, what have you been doing with your life? Do you understand? So seeing things from other people, seeing testimonies, seeing amazing things from young people like you spurs you, right? I was like, then another thought came was like, Esther, there is so much more in you. Now let's look at it from this aspect. Imagine I did not pay attention to capacity building. Imagine I did not pay attention to developing myself. All these persons that have been doing Esther, thank you for your impact, thank you for this, they would have still been in darkness. Yeah, somebody else might have stood in the stead and all of those things, but then you must begin to understand that if we don't do all of these things, number one, we are failed God. Number two, we are wicked persons because there are so many destinies attached to us. Do you understand? So if you don't take up the responsibility to build yourself, so many persons will be wallowing in darkness. So at the point when I realized that, Esther, God has tried for you so much. He has deposited so much in you. So you need to rise up to this responsibility to become a better version of yourself so that so many persons will not be drowning. So at that thought, it was the point here was the thought pattern. So at that point of thought pattern, I was like, man, this is crazy. Anything to take me, ranging from traveling across states and gaining knowledge, ranging from buying books, ranging from investing so much in knowledge. I'm going to do anything it takes. And all of those things was what I was doing in my NYC that before 1 year was completed, I never knew because it was full of so many productive activities for me. So I would say it was at that thought pattern point.
Awesome. Wow, so powerful. So we're going to let you guys go in a couple of minutes. And I'm really excited that, you know, I started talking about all of this when I was in 100 level, sharing about, talking about skills, talking about how that students are going to graduate from the university and not have
It's
jobs.
been long we started.
It's been long. I know when I was talking about it, it did not really make sense. So, and I used my own personal life, as a testament, right? I've seen how that all that I have done on campus. I was telling someone today that I've not really used my CV. The way they used to apply for job, at least those days, I used to see people come. I worked in a cyber cafe. I see people come to the cyber cafe to do their CV, and then they will package it and they will hit the road or hit the ground running to submit their CV. Like I've not had to do that. I've not even my certificate has not even been a conversation, right, for a job. It has always been an afterthought, right? And so it is that same mindset that we bring to this conversation today that university students need to understand that they need to be intentional about curating their university experience, because if they do that, it will drastically change their life. It will position them for opportunities, and I'm really excited that we get to hear your story.
Yes,
Even if you did not take advantage of your time on campus, you were able to turn that around. So it gives hope to the graduates that are here. It gives hope to those who are just leaving the university, who did not think it was possible. Now they can see you and they know that it's possible. So quickly, in just 1 minute, 1 minute for each of you, for 1 minute for Shay and 1 minute for Esther, one thing you want to say to a university student right now. One thing, amongst all the amazing things you said, one thing you want to say to a university student right now. So
Okay. I actually have two questions, right, for us to
okay.
respond to ourselves, right? So the first question is that I want you to write three things that you want to be known for before you leave school. Three things you want to be known for, right? Then the second thing is to tell yourself or write one thing you don't want to be known for. And I'm saying you should do these things so that you can have action points, right? Things to guide your decisions. So when you make decisions, you can have these directions in view to help you guide your decisions. So, what do you want to be known for? What is something you don't want to be known for? And then you can move with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was powerful. Esther, over to you.
Okay, this one that would help you, right? Um, what I would just say is that don't be a wicked person by busting yourself within the 4 walls of schooling. I use the word wicked person a lot because if God gave you something, like you have something inside of you, and you are not using it, for example, I give Sir Andrew something and he just dump it. Something very precious to me. So the precious thing here now, for example, is capacity. We have the capacity already inside of us, so we just need development. So imagine I just give Sir Andrew something very precious to me that I know will be useful to him. And I say, Sir Andrew, take this thing. There's a way you will develop it, there's a way you will grow it. See, this word you will shake it. And I'll just give it. You will just dump it somewhere, just keep it there, leave it there for years, and it's just there, and all of those things. So it shows Sir Andrew is a wicked person for not using what I gave him. I'm using this
I
illustration so you understand
shall
better.
not be a wicked person.
So yeah, sorry about that. So what it eventually means is that
No, no, no.
God has given me the capacity, and supposing you did not know about, you don't have this information before, it's a different thing. Now you are aware, we have given you the
Yes,
knowledge, you are now aware.
yes.
So you are guilty after now if you don't develop it. And like I said, one of the ways to developing it, it's not aside you developing your brain academically. One of the ways is that you attend transformational meetings. We have so many of them around campus, even in campus. Try and visit them every Saturday. Don't be your hostel gossiping. You're in your hostel doing what you ought not to be doing. Some of it will be out there building capacity via knowledge. So one advice I'll just say is that don't don't leave that capacity in you. Develop it. So that's what I'll just say. Thank you.
Yes, I want to type. I want to type the last thing you said. Stop. Attend transformational meetings. Stop gossiping in your hostel.
On Saturdays.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much, Esther. Thank you very much, Seyi, for sharing your story with us. Guys, do well to search for these amazing people. Do well to search for them. I'm going to put up their bio. I said bio. I'm going to put up their social media handles. I think if you search for Esther Odemwingie on Google, say if you find her, the same thing with Esi Seyi Adeleye. If you just put that name on Google, you're going to find them. Make sure you follow them. Now, let me give you guys one strategy for networking. Right now, you've attended this event and they have shared a lot on this platform. What you want to do, to win a plot of land in their hearts is to take all of this that you've learned, go and apply it. After you've applied it, the result that you see, from the things that you've applied, you come and then you use that as a conversation starter when you're reaching out to them. So when you're reaching out to Shay, for instance, you're telling him that, sir, I listened to what you shared at the virtual campus store where you talked about, putting yourself out there. You talked about volunteering, you talked about networking, and I was able to do this, see what I've achieved. He would know that, okay, this person is serious with his life. Just that it's different from when you just reach out to them now. You're just saying, I'm inspired, I'm motivated. You're just speaking in tongues, right? Very important, guys. The same thing with Esther. When you're reaching out to her, make sure you're reaching out to her with proof that yes, you've applied what she has shared and your life has changed. I know your life will change. I know I'm very, very optimistic that your life will change after this experience. Thank you very much for staying to this point. We're going to leave our speakers to go now. I think Esther has another engagement after now. She is quite a busy person, so we're going to leave them to go while we wrap up this conversation. Thank you very much, Shay. Thank you very much, Esther, for being with
Have a good night,
us.
Shay.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for staying to this point. We are really excited. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, 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 yes. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We have had an amazing time. Do not go anywhere. By 8 p.m., we are coming back live. Coming back to this conversation. Make sure you stay. Make sure you remain here. See you by 8 p.m. Bye bye.